Hey designers, and welcome back. Go ahead and grab your favorite cup of hot cocoa, a few of your favorite cookies, pull up a chair, and sit and chat with us a while in today's episode of Cocoa and Cookies. Well, good morning everybody. As you can see, I got a special guest with me today. I wrote him down to come and sit with me a while. Let's show our mugs. We both have a snowman mugs today. These are the mugs that we found of my grandma's. You guys will remember that. Was it in day one? I think it was in day one we found these as we were going through a bunch of stuff. I forgot I had them from her, so we both using the snowman matcha. What are you drinking?
Coffee.
Ooh, he likes the coffee. Him and his dad. I just have OJ today. I'm going cold.
OJ today.
I'm a poet, and I did know it. I'm going with a cold drink, which is kind of crazy because I'm cold in here.
Yeah, it's cold outside.
You got on your long sleeves and your hoodie too. It's kind of at that point to where we don't have the heater on because it's like barely there. Like you feel cold enough that you wish you did have the heater on, but not really cold enough because as soon as the heater comes on, it's going to be too hot kind of thing. Only those of you in Florida probably will understand that dilemma because it can get hot so fast. So we'll have to splice that together. We had some background noise going on, you guys. So for the first few seconds, you just have to excuse us. Well, I don't even remember what we were talking about. What were we saying?
The cups. No, you're talking about the heat.
Oh, yeah.
The Florida weather.
Yeah, being chilly. Well,
it's going to be 80 tomorrow.
It's going to be 80 tomorrow?
Wednesday is going to be 82. It's supposed to only be in the 60s, but it's going to be 80.
Wowzers. Well, that don't feel like Christmas.
Just don't go outside.
Yeah, we can turn the air down to like 20 inside.
I have to go outside though.
Yeah, you do. So how cold will it be for the ball game tonight? Is it going to start heating up today or tomorrow?
Tomorrow. It's going to be like in the 50s. Like same it always is on game day.
Yes, that's a little
it's
chilly.
In the 50s, yeah.
One night, we took you guys with us when you played over at Fort White. It was cold that night. Oh my goodness, that one was cold, but doesn't sound like this week should be too bad then.
Well, it's going to cool back down.
Yeah, after Wednesday it'll start getting colder again. That's the thing about living here. You just never know. But it's weird weather because you remember when you guys were little, we would have y'all bundled up. Remember the year that Gung got the little Hot Wheels Barbie Jeep in the yard?
Yeah.
She got the Hot Wheels Barbie Jeep and we took them outside Christmas afternoon after she got that. And it was so cold. Well, for us, it was so cold. We had y'all bundled up and all this. Y'all could hardly even move them thick jackets and everything. But it hasn't done that the last few Christmases. I mean, like, we have legitimately been able to step out in shorts on Christmas. And to me, that feels weird. Christmas just feels like it should be cold. I don't know if that's just like a conditioned thinking or what.
Probably.
I don't know. I'd tell you what I would love to do this Christmas is I would love to go somewhere where it snows.
Georgia.
Some places in Georgia it does snow, yeah.
Go to the mountains.
One of my favorite Christmas songs, and movies really, is White Christmas. I love that song. And I love just when you sing it, like where your mind takes you. And it seems like all the holiday movies on TV all have snow.
The one last night didn't. Did you notice that?
No. What was the one last night?
The one where, yeah, it never did snow. The one last night about the business guy. Kind of like the Christmas Carol.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
It never did snow.
It never did snow. You're right.
I was thinking, because he stepped outside of his house on Christmas Day, and I was like, wow, there's no snow.
Yeah, you're right. I didn't even catch that.
So they must have been living somewhere where, like Florida or something.
Yeah. I didn't even catch that. Yeah, but just about every other holiday movie when we watch them, we have a tradition. If you have not yet seen our family traditions video, I'll have that link for you down below because it explains everything. Like our white stocking that many of you have noticed over the weekend explains that. It explains all kinds of stuff. And in there we talk about, I think that's the video where I talk about our tradition of the movies. It may be in our holiday favorites video. I don't know. I'll have them both linked for you below, and you can watch both of them to see which one says it. But we start Thanksgiving, and from Thanksgiving all the way until New Year, we watch a different Christmas movie together every night with our hot cocoa or whatever. And that's just been a tradition ever since you guys were little. We started early this year, though. We watched a few before Thanksgiving this year.
Yeah, we did.
Yeah, but that's just always the funnest thing. But in doing that, it's like every night of December, we watch all this fun, magical, just that oomph time of year in these movies, and they all have snow. And we're sitting down here sweating in our shorts and tank tops a lot of the time. So I would love to like those movies where they have these big cabins and they almost get snowed in, can't drive their cars, and build the snowmen and all that stuff. Matter of fact, what was the movie where the snowman came to life?
Huh?
The snowman came to life.
Jack Frost.
Yeah, Jack Frost with what's the Keaton? Michael Keaton is the voice of Jack Frost. That's a cute little movie. I like that movie. And the snowman comes to life. Mm-hmm. And of course, y'all know how much I love snowmen already anyway. I love that one. So fun. I'm going to go make a snowman. You know, whenever I was young, you probably don't remember any time in your life, but when I was young, about 9-10 years old, it actually snowed here in Florida. Enough, we made little teeny snowballs and we set them on the roof of our car, and we thought, oh yay, they'll be there all day. By lunchtime they were already all melted. You didn't even know we had snow, but we got to wear our little mittens, and of course
it snowed last year.
Yeah, it did.
January,
it did.
We saw like a little
flurries here. Little flurries. Matter of fact, was it last year or the year before when every state in America had snow?
I think it was last year.
Might have been last year.
Because I think it was the year before that it was the hottest.
Might have been. Might have been.
Yeah.
Kind of weird. But we even had snow in parts of North Florida. Just flurries. I mean, like, you
it
guys.
It would melt before it got close enough, too.
And all them people are probably laughing, thinking they don't even know what snow is.
It was so cold, though.
It was, and dreary, of course, because, you know, the little rainy type atmosphere.
It was the day she had to take her, the SAT, is that what she took?
Oh, yeah.
That's the day it was.
It was freezing that day.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, man.
I mean, it was cold and dry.
It was. Oh, my word. That was a miserable day. I mean, the coldness in the air that day was colder than any day I can ever remember. It was strange.
But the wind was blowing hard.
Yeah.
Because we were walking up to the school, and it was so cold because of the wind.
Yeah.
It was like blowing you over.
Yeah. And I can remember me and my husband were just sitting there trying to think back. I don't think any time in all of our life we have ever felt it cold like that. Ever. That was something else. It got so cold here in 1984. I remember we were living up in a little town called Yulee, Florida. And it got so cold that particular winter that inside of our dishwasher, you know how almost all dishwashers have just a little bit of residue of water that stays in the bottom? I'm not sure why that happens, but that water in that dishwasher froze over inside the house. We woke up the next day and it was frozen.
Have the heater on?
That house didn't have central heat because Floridians don't always need it. So in that house, there was this big like family room that was built off of one end, and it had this huge fireplace. This fireplace was so big, and they built it that way so that it would bring all the air from the rest of the house, you know, like suction it in, and that's how it kind of gives its heat. And so what would happen was, in the formal living room area, they had a big old potbelly stove, like them little, like you see in the movies, kind of. And that's what you would put your little wood in there to heat that area of the house that included the dining room, the formal living room, and the kitchen area. And then out in the big informal den type areas where that heater was. So they would hang up cloths to like section off the house, because in my mom and dad's master bedroom, they had a little, you know, like you see window units for air conditioning. They had one of those for a heater, so their room was warm, and we would all pile in there with sleeping bags and sleep on the floors.
From the outside?
I don't know exactly how it did. I guess it brought air in from the outside and then heated it on the coils, like when you have a little heater you plug in, kind of. And so we would bring all of our sleeping bags in and just pile in my mom and dad's room during the real cold nights, because this was a house we were renting. It didn't have heat in our rooms. And of course, they didn't want to leave the potbelly stove burning because it's dangerous through the night. Nobody there to watch the fire. So they would hang these big claws up, and they would, if we were in that family room, we would have the fireplace going and we would be really toasty in there. But then if you wanted to get to the bathroom, you had to run really fast because the rest of the house was cold.
So that's how you got your speed.
I guess so. Kind of like we did.
Still do that to now.
I do. When it gets cold, I run. That's about the only time you'll see me run, is if I'm very cold or scared.
Or have to go to the bathroom.
Or have to go to the bathroom.
Or she runs really fast if she has to go to the bathroom and it's cold outside. And if she's scared, I don't even want to know the type of speed you could produce.
Yeah, like smoke be coming out behind me.
Yeah.
It would look like we had the video on
Daytona 500 right there.
Right. Oh my goodness, that is so funny. Oh man, but you know, we had to do that here a couple winters ago when you and Dad were working on this section of the house.
Oh.
Because we had the space heaters back here, and then we had the space heaters down there where we made this little living room.
And you'd have to go in between to get from room to room.
Yeah.
And this would be so cold because we didn't have any insulation or anything.
Yeah. Yeah, because the ceiling, or the roof was up, but the ceiling was down.
The ceiling was down.
No insulation.
Walls were gone, no flooring.
Yeah. So you take that and magnify it by about 10, and that's what that winter was in that house. Oh man, it was so cold. And then in 89 again, it got cold enough here that there was snow on the ground and ice on the sidewalks. I can remember, you know where the church is up here across from the high school?
Yeah.
That's where we were going to church at the time. And
wait, which one?
Bethel.
Bethel.
Yeah, and it got so cold that the sidewalks were like you were slipping trying to get into the, and see, we don't have like snow boots and none of that kind of stuff here because we don't need them. So we're so unprepared when it gets cold in Florida. That's kind of like these people that live way north. They're unprepared for a massive heat wave, you know. So anyway, that's fun memories. I hadn't thought about that in a while, but it doesn't get cold like that here anymore. But I would love just one Christmas to rent a cabin, or somebody give us a weekend at a cabin and go stay.
Yeah, like we could like rent a U-Haul.
Yeah.
And take everything up there and have Christmas in another state.
Yeah, that would be fun.
In a cabin, that would be really fun.
Yeah, or maybe if you could find a cabin that was already, that had like, remember the movie the other night when the girl went to that other town and she's like, whoa, I even got a Christmas tree in my room. Like those, maybe find cabins that are pre-decorated and stuff for Christmas.
Some of them little towns do that.
Yeah, and then just take our presents up. That would be fun. That really would be fun. I don't know. Maybe that's on our bucket list. That's on my bucket list. That's what I want to do before I die. Spend Christmas where it snows. But anyway, so you got a game tonight. Who are y'all playing?
Newberry, I think.
Okay.
Newberry, yeah. They're dirty.
Oh, they are. This team y'all played last week from PK Young.
PK Young.
If any of you guys are from Gainesville or from PK Young, we don't mean to be offensive, but oh my goodness.
Awful.
They were dirty. They were very dirty. They would fall on purpose anytime you got near them to try to draw a foul call from the ref. And it did work on their behalf several times. Unbelievable. And then they were so aggressive.
They like entice you.
Yeah.
They do it to where the ref doesn't see it, and then you do something kind of say, yeah, go get off me. And then they'll call it on you because they didn't see the other team do it.
Yeah.
That ref is a bad ref. We had him at Fort White.
Yeah.
And we got 2 guys that got a card that game.
I don't know. They were just so aggressive, so bad as far as sportsmanship was concerned. I've not seen that in a long time.
It's probably going to be even worse tonight.
Well, let's pray not. Let's pray not. Oh my goodness, that's just, it takes all the fun out of it, you know? I understand a competitive edge because I'm very competitive. You're very competitive. I think competition is a good thing because it pushes you to do your best. If you remove the competitive element, then there's no need to strive to be the best you can. So I'm all about competition, and I'm all about having that competitive mindset, but not to the point where you have to be dirty about it. Because if you have to be dirty about it or you have to cheat, you're no longer competitive. You're just a cheater. And I can't stand that. You know, that shows you don't have confidence in your own ability. You got to cheat to achieve.
See, that ref, he doesn't like the coach.
Oh.
He thinks that he thinks he tells us to play dirty.
Mm-hmm. And your coach really does.
Because he's loud. Yeah. Because he's a loud guy, and he's always like yelling at our guys, not in a mean way, like yelling loudly so they can hear him. But he doesn't see it that way. So whenever he's yelling, he's thinking, oh, he's just trying to tell him to be dirty. So that's why he always gives the other team a little bit of an edge. And
see, that's not right. You guys shouldn't be punished because of the... Because your coach has a great personality and a great temperament, but he's like me. He's a loud guy.
Loud, yeah.
Like when we go back to edit even these videos, I'm just loud. Some people are just loud, and that's how your coach is. But in my opinion, if you're going to be a good referee or good judge at any kind of sport or anything, you have to be totally unbiased.
I know.
I mean, you got to set aside any opinion you may have personally of a coach or a school or a city, you know, because you can come in pre-biased in your thinking, and then that's not really fair.
We for real only got 2 calls that night.
Yeah.
Except offsides, but even the side refs, coach knew the one guy from college. Whenever he refereed college games, he was like the advisory type person, say, hey, you're going to referee this game. So them 2 guys, the sideline refs, knew the coach, but that other guy, he does not like him. And that's the only reason why we got 2 calls.
Well, hopefully it'll be better tonight. I tell you, it's frustrating when you have to play that way. It just is. It's good life lessons, though, because you have to learn life ain't always fair, and people are gonna treat you bad.
We don't mind the calls because, we may trip somebody not on purpose, but you could say, oh yeah, that was a foul. But they called every little thing.
Yeah, they did.
I mean, soccer's a physical sport. People are gonna fall and stuff like that, but he only called it on us.
Only on y'all. And the thing about it is, you could clearly see from the stands anyway, where those guys were dropping, because they're taught to do that. Yeah. You know, it's like when they get close to you, just fall, draw the foul. Even whenever y'all may not have even touched them at all, or barely touched them, but when they fake it and be so dramatic,
you can get a red card for that.
Yeah. For faking it? Yeah.
And if you get, well, they do it in pros. I don't know. In high school, it may just be a yellow. Because if you get a red card in the high school, you have to go and talk with the sports director. And he'll tell you whether you're off the team or not.
Wow.
Depending on if the coach was like, yeah, that was a bad call. He didn't deserve it.
Yeah.
But... I was out there for the first couple minutes, and the guys were already pushing me around. Yeah. I was like, "Where's the foul?"
Yeah, I'm telling you,
was bad too about that.
They were.
Because I got out there, and it's always, if you notice, it's always the number 10 on the team.
I know, I haven't paid attention.
It's always like number 10 or number 11, something like that. Huh. But whenever I went out against Palaka, he was pulling my shirt the whole time.
Yeah, there was.
That's why we were so happy to finally beat them, because they played dirty. And we hadn't beaten them in 5 years anyway, so it just made it like that much better.
Yeah.
Because they were playing dirty.
Well, maybe this team hopefully won't be dirty tonight. I don't like when teams have to do that. Because it just, like I said, they're not winning on their skill. You know what I mean? It's not like they're the better team. They're just better.
They really aren't better, because they lost to a team that... They lost to a team that played a team we played and beat. So that would mean that they're not that good. I mean, you could see they were not good.
No, they weren't good. They weren't good at all.
They were taking out all of our guys. Every time we would get the ball, he would say, no, that has to come back.
Yeah. They weren't real, like, coordinated or talented in the fact that, I mean, like, you could just tell that they had to win by playing dirty.
And they pushed people down.
Yeah. Well, we're going to hope that's not the case tonight, and that y'all going to get out there. But y'all haven't played since y'all had your last practice. Was it the Tuesday?
Yeah, Tuesday. We haven't had a game since last Friday. Not this Friday. Not this last Friday, but
yeah, 10 days.
10 days ago, yeah.
And y'all haven't even practiced together since the Tuesday before Thanksgiving.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody's coming off of the big holiday, probably still full of turkey.
Hopefully, Nico and them will be all healed.
Yeah. Yeah, so this could be a rough game. The only consolation to that is unless the other team had like some kind of practice over the weekend, they'll be in the same boat. No practice,
We're
holiday.
pretty much going to be as even as we would have been if we would have played.
Yeah, so you ready for it though?
Mm-hmm.
After not working out, I mean not practicing out is what I mean.
Yeah.
Playing hard for about 10 days.
I don't know, it depends. I don't know. I may not get much playing time tonight because it is such a big game.
Yeah.
We have to win this if we want to stay up in a higher seed.
Yeah.
For districts, it depends because if this team is physical, then he'll take Austin out, put me in because he's so small.
Yeah.
But
yeah. He hasn't had a whole lot of playing time this year, only because you're the new kid on the block. It's his first year playing with this team. They've played, together. A lot of them have. A lot of them play on the traveling team during the summer. And so he doesn't necessarily get a lot of playing time out there.
I asked him, he's been playing every year since 4.
Wow. Yeah.
That's why he's so good.
Yeah.
I haven't played since I was like 4.
Exactly. They played together on a team whenever you were real little, but then you moved to football.
Mm-hmm.
Football became your thing. And so anyway, now that you're back into soccer, but it's been fun. I've had a good time doing it. It felt weird last week having no games to go to.
It was so boring.
He was like, I'm bored. I got nothing to do. So it has been. It's been fun. So it starts, but to this week you only have 2 games.
Yeah.
Usually you have 3.
We're only going to have 2 games for the rest of the year except for 1 week.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
He just did that to get us as a kind of faster start.
I got you.
Because all of our easy games were the ones in the first 2 weeks.
Yeah.
All of the hard games now start now.
Yeah.
That's why we only have 2.
Yeah. Well, we'll be able to take you along in the vlog. If you guys haven't been watching the vlog, you'll want to follow along. It's been pretty fun. And we'll take you to the ball game tonight. And then again, when? Friday?
Friday.
Friday night we'll have another game.
Mm-hmm. And then Monday, I think we have another game.
Excuse me. All right. So anyway, well, we got to get busy around here.
Gotta finish school.
Yeah, he's got finished school.
Yeah.
And we're going to try to get some more decorating done today. Edit this video for you guys, of course. And I don't know, we'll have to see what else the day brings, but then we'll have to be getting ready for a ball game. Might not get too much decorating done today then because we got so much else going on. We'll just have to see how it goes. But thanks for joining me on Cocoa and Cookies. Well, coffee and orange juice, and neither of us had cookies.
Nope.
We're all out of cookies.
Usually it's just water.
Yeah, a lot of times I just have water because it just all depends. Whenever I get up, sometimes I don't feel like that sugary cocoa right first thing in the morning. But today we had some OJ in the house. No cookies though. No. We need to get Dawn to make some of her buttery deliciousness that's perfect, like a taste of heaven.
Been pudding.
Yeah. Oh, they're so good, you guys. So good. All right. So anyway, thank you again. This was nice. Yeah. They love to see you. They love to see you. All right, so we're going to go ahead and get off of here and get the day rolling. Thank you for joining us this week for Cocoa and Cookies. Hope your holiday season is off to a super great start, and we will see you soon in the next video.